Good evening, everybody. For those of you who will see this later, it's Wednesday. I don't even know the date because I've been gone. I haven't been paying attention. It's the 23rd of September. We got a week to go, which is hard to believe. And we are officially in fall as of, I believe, yesterday. Yesterday or the day before? Was it Monday? I think it was Monday. Yeah, Monday. So I hope you're having a good beginning to fall. I hope you're doing well. I am glad to be back with you. We took a few days away. It was really, really wonderful, and I really enjoyed it. Maybe nobody thinks I'm on tonight, so because nobody's joined me yet, which is really amazing. Usually by now I've at least had a couple people get on, so I don't know if anybody knows I'm doing it tonight. Wonder if I should put a note up and stop it and start again. You think I should do that? Well, I haven't seen any pluses. I don't see anybody on here. You know what? I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to put up a note that we will have devotions at 7:15. Wow, okay. 2 people. I was just about to, hey, Phyllis, I was just about to hang up and try again at 7:15 because nobody had gotten on. Because I thought, well, maybe everybody forgot, or maybe people think I've been gone because I didn't do Tuesday night. Yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm totally thrown off. I'm thrown off too. So they probably thought, well, maybe she's gone all week. So anyway, I'm not gone all week. Phyllis, I'm glad you're on here. Somebody else is on here too. I don't know who it is. They don't show up. But anyway, I'll put a note. Oh, somebody else joined too. Good. Okay, Betty. Good evening, Betty. I hope Matthew's there. I hope I get to see him tonight. I'm sorry about Sunday. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And somebody else, there's a couple more. Kathy, good evening. Are you back from your trip? I hope you had a great trip. Hope you and Bill had a wonderful time in Florida. We just went down to Tybee Island, went Sunday after we got home from church, and just got home about 2 hours ago. And we had a most wonderful time. We got to see good friends, old friends. We had dinner with Pastor Devin, if you know Pastor Devin, and Chris, his wife. Chris was the administrative assistant when I served at Lutheran Church of the Messiah, and she and I get along famously. And I had told them we were coming down. They live in a new area up by Savannah. Devin serves a Lutheran church there. They just moved there, let's see, May, June? I don't know. Sometime this summer, they moved there. They live, I wanted to look it up for those of you who know the Savannah area. It was a really small community. Oh, thank you, Ellie. Did you hear me say I had dinner with Chris, who used to work at Messiah? We went to their new home last night. Her and Devin's new home is absolutely beautiful. It is so nice. It's big, it's open. It works great because Devin's in a wheelchair. Really great to get around. They have a lanai. Oh, that was lovely. And it was open. Well, it's a long, big screen, that folds back. And after we had dinner, Devin had a meeting, and so David and I sat out there with Chris and talking. They live in, I almost got it, Richmond Hill. So Richmond Hill. Oh, that's right. You did go. That's right. Yes, good. I'm glad you also got to do that. Yes, so are you back from LJ now? Thank you, Laura. It was wonderful. We only got away for, less than 72 hours, but it was I really needed it. It was great. And we got to see dolphins yesterday, and we had the most fun thing happen. So we were on the boat. So we did this dolphin tour. Laura Miller had recommended it, and we went on it. And we all had to wait, and of course everybody had their mask on, and then we got on the boat. Well, there was a young woman, I'd say she's in her 30s, and I was guessing she was with her mom and dad. David wasn't sure, but anyway, I said something about I like her mask, and she thanked me, and so we got talking, and she mentions that this is her mom and dad, and they had met up at Tybee, and that her mom and dad live in El Paso, Texas, and she lives in Washington, D.C., and that her dad is a retired Lutheran minister. We're like, your dad's a retired Lutheran minister? Go, we're Lutheran ministers. And then we come to find out that we all graduated from the same seminary in California, in Berkeley. He was class of 78. I was 95 and David was 96. Because David did an extra year. He got an MA. Anyway, it was great. We knew that we had some of the same professors that had been teaching a long time. We could talk about California. We talked about different people in the... There's a whole... I mean, I know people may not believe this. Besides the theological area, there's also kind of the science of church. And so this gentleman had been to some of the same programs we didn't go. Yep, thank you. We just got back today. Just got back this evening, Cheryl. Yep. And so anyway, we're on a boat, and there's maybe 35, 40 people on this boat. We're on Tybee Island, and the people sitting next to us, he's a retired ELCA pastor. I'm like, such a small world. And then to find out we went to the same seminary, 20 years apart, but we went to the same seminary. We had some of the same professors. So it was great. It was just really neat. And he'd served at church in Phoenix for 3 years. We did our internships in Tucson, so we knew that area. But anyway, it was really neat. And then I recommended to the daughter. I just said, well, have you found a church there? And she's like, well, no, not really. And so I said, well, hey, we know a classmate that's a senior pastor in D.C., and he's really neat, really great guy. So I looked up his church and told her and gave his name to her. And so anyway, she drove from D.C., and her parents have an RV, and they're hauling their Jeep, and they drove from Texas, and they're traveling. And then they were staying at Tybee till Thursday, and then they were going over to Myrtle Beach, which that is one place I've not been to Myrtle Beach, but they were going to Myrtle Beach, and then the retired pastor and his wife were trying to decide where they were going next, but they were probably going to go up for Thanksgiving to be with their daughter in D.C., but it was really great. And then the guy, okay, so then there's the captain, and then there's like the first, not first aid, but the first, the person, and he's the one that checked us all in and everything and got us on the boat. So he did most of the talking about things. We'll come to find out he's from Barnesville, Georgia. He's like, oh, I haven't been back there in a long time. I'm like, you're from Barnesville, Georgia. I couldn't believe it. And so it was kind of neat, all the connections. I'm like, oh yeah, I know people in Barnesville. We have people at church from Barnesville. So anyway, it was just really great. Oh, Ellie, yes, Christine is wonderful, and she's starting a cookie company, her own cookie company. So we had a great conversation about that because we both like to bake. And the dinner she made was spectacular, and we had such a great visit with them. It was just so wonderful. I loved working with her, and I consider her a friend, and it was just great. It was great to be together. And then today, before we came back, we are, I don't know what, Kathy, I'm not sure what your comment means, first date, but today we met up with, so Samuel had a good friend from grade school in Illinois. But his dad is from the Savannah area, and they live on the island next to First Mate. Thank you. That's it. First Mate. Okay. Jennifer, his friend Dylan, him and his 3 siblings and his mom and dad live on, I think it's Wilmington Island. And that's the island next to Tybee. So when I had put up some pictures that we were down there, Jennifer got a hold of me because she and I are Facebook friends. And actually Dylan, who's a senior like Sam, they were in Cub Scouts together. So she got a hold of me and said, hey, can we meet up? Well, I was like, well, this is going on. So it worked out that today was a great day for them because her kids are at work doing school at home too, but Wednesday is their catch-up day. And then Andrew, the dad, he is a remote, he works in, he's a computer programmer, right, Sam, I think? So he was able to come to lunch. So that was great to catch up with them. And I have to say, Jennifer's really been through it. She lost her dad last August and her mom in March this year, and been through a heck of a lot. And we had a really good conversation, and just talked about going through that. And she said, going through this, I've learned a lot. And she said, when somebody dies now, I make them a pan of brownies and I give them some money because they're practical things that I can do that will help them. And I said, yeah, I tell people when somebody you care about loses someone, don't just say to them, oh, hey, call me if you need me. Because I said, they're in grief. They're not going to call you. It's like the last thing. They have to be desperate to call somebody, even their best friends. And so I always tell people, when somebody that you care about dies, reach out to them after the funeral. Call them. Check on them. Say, hey, let's go to lunch. Or, hey, I want to come over and just help you out. But when people say, well, call me. I know people mean well, but really the best thing you can do is reach out to the person who's going through that. So we had a good conversation about that. And Dylan, who's Sam's friend from grade school, he is working on his Eagle Scout project. And he is the church that his troop meets at. He is building a fire pit for the proper disposing of worn out flags, because that is one of the proper ways to with the United States flag is to have a proper there's some kind of a special way of doing it, but they can burn them to dispose of them properly. And I'm not saying that in the protest way, but and so that's his Eagle Scout project that he's working on. So it was great. It was great to see them and catch up and talk, and it was just good. The weather was beautiful. It was a little chilly and the surf was up, and but we got to see lots of dolphins, and it was so good to get away. It was so nice and so wonderful, and I know it sounds funny, but I feel some real renewal just for getting away for a little bit. It was just really, really what I needed. So I'm hanging on to this good energy in hopes that it will carry me through for a while longer. So, what I wanted to read to you tonight is from the Daily Guidepost 2019, and it goes along with this trip, and it's also about when we're waiting for other things to happen, and I really liked it. I was reading some of these when we were coming home today, and I really like this one. So this is written by Ashley Capel. And the scripture is Matthew 6:31 from NIV. Do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? And Ashley writes, each year my family, 31 and counting, heads to the beach to run relay races on the shore, have many Bible lessons with Nana, play for hours in the pool, and eat family style for 21 meals straight. When our 5-year-old daughter Olivia looked at the calendar and saw that the beach was still pages away, she sighed, it'll never get here, with the dramatic despair that only a 5-year-old can conjure. I offered her the chance to skip ahead. We could go to the beach right now, I told her. Her eyes lit up. But your cousins can't come this week, so they won't be there. And you'll miss Vacation Bible School, and your dance recital, Charlotte's birthday, and your school field trip. Her eyes narrowed. Do you want to skip all those things? I asked her in a neutral tone. No, she said, aghast I'd even make such an offer. With that, we chose a family motto. Be present. Be present. The Bible tells us not to be anxious, but in my child's case, she was anxious to get this party going. So this year, we're being present. I think that's so important, especially in this year. And again, I've said this several times about different devotions, but they're written far ahead. So none of these people could have had a clue what 2020 would bring, just like us. And some of them, especially I read them and I just think, boy, they were written for a year like this. So this year, she said, we're being present. We work on this daily. Rushing through dinner won't get you a treat any faster. Wishing away a school week won't make the weekend come sooner. Trying to fast forward rest time only means you'll be tired when we ride bikes this evening. Instead, be present, which is really the only place you could be anyway, and find joy where you are. And the prayer is, Lord, thank you for the reminder to slow way down and drink in the beauty of each day. Well, I really like that because I think these last few days I've actually done that. I'm one of those people that's always looking ahead because there's always things I know coming on the horizon that I've got to do, that I've got to be ready for, that I've got to make sure is taken care of. And I'll have a list of things I have to do, and I get through the list, or I start to get down on the list, and then I have to add to the list again, or I have to start a new list. And I have to carry over a few things that maybe aren't finished. And so I've struggled to be in the present because there's just, to me, there's always so much to do in the future. But, these last few days, I was like, I'm really not going to look at Facebook, and I didn't. I had a really good talk with a new friend who I've made outside of church, which as a pastor is a big deal because most of my best friends don't live anywhere close to me. They live in the Midwest or other parts of the country. And I stay in touch and everything, but I don't get, the opportunity to be present with them like I did when I lived close to some of them before. So anyway, but these last few days, it was really slow down. We had full days, enjoyed them, went to the beach, went out to eat, went into Savannah, went to the river walk, went for a drive through Savannah, enjoyed Tybee, went to Crab Shack, which I was really surprised. I put it up on Facebook, and I did look at that, and a lot of people have been there and love it and know the place. And if you saw, as Max, who I used to work with at Christ the King, said, if you watched the show NBC had on, it was late spring, called Council of Dads. The family, it was set on Tybee Island, and the dad owned the Crab Shack. That's where they shot the restaurant scenes at. So Max told me that, and that was really cool. And I will say one of the joys of this time being together, when we went to the Crab Shack, we didn't know they had cats there. And Christopher adores cats. He loves cats. And so we had a really nice waiter, super great guy. I have to tell you about him in a minute. Derek was his name. And I said to him, well, there's a sign up about the cats that says the cats here are our family. They're not feral cats. We take care of them. They're neutered, they're spayed, and we make sure their shots are up to date. So we were eating in the big outdoor area it's got like the wind protector or breakers around it, but it's open to the outside. And so there was one cat that came, black and white, and just sat down just next to us, and Christopher just loved it. And then there was two other cats that came in. Christopher likes to say, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty," whenever we see a kitty cat. And we have it all planned. He wants a black cat, and he's going to name it Cooper. And he doesn't care if it's got another name when we get a cat, because we're going to hopefully get one in the next few months when we get our dog. And we have to get a dog and a cat to get along, and we have to have a dog that Christopher will get along with, because Samuel gets the dog, but Christopher has to be okay with the dog too. So anyway, but hopefully we can find a dog and a cat that will get along, but it has to be a black cat. Christopher loves black cats, and I don't know if you know it, but a lot more black cats are euthanized than other colored cats because of people's issues with the whole thing of black cats. and the superstitions around them. So anyway, it was really great. I mean, they were sweet cats. They weren't looking for, they said, don't feed them, we didn't do that. But the funniest thing happened, we were sitting there, and the people 2 tables down were looking up, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. First, we thought there was a bat, but we never saw one. Well, then about 10 minutes later, they start looking up again, and we're like, what are they looking at? Well, it was a raccoon, and the raccoon was climbing up the side of the roof and then went in under the roof, like down to the other end, and somebody said, oh, they're probably trying to get to the trash cans. But so the sweet thing, that Derek was a very nice waiter. Well, when we were done with dinner, Christopher always has ice cream at night, usually before he goes to bed. But so they had ice cream, so he ordered chocolate ice cream, his favorite, and he always wants chocolate ice cream with M&Ms on it. Always, that's his favorite thing. And so we said, well, you can have chocolate ice cream, but they don't have M&Ms. They don't have M&Ms. And he's like, oh, okay, chocolate ice cream. Well, Derek comes back, and they have a gift shop. We didn't get over to the gift shop, but they have a gift shop, and they sold M&Ms in the gift shop. So Derek went and got Christopher a bag of M&Ms and brought him with a chocolate ice cream. I was like, such a small thing, but such kindness. I feel like kindness is underrated and most needed in this time. It's so easy to be grumbly and cranky and miserable and be mean because we're that way. It's so easy to just blow up at people because they don't agree with us or have a different, oh, Ellie. Well, that's sweet. I'm glad to know that. Hey, good evening, Janet. Yeah, it was nice. It was so nice, Cheryl. I was so touched by it. I was just really great. So we had some great experiences. We ate at another restaurant, and we had breakfast and lunch yesterday, like at, a brunch time. Christopher really wanted a hamburger, so he got a hamburger. And the lady who waited on us, she was from the area. She lived on Wilmington Island, and we got talking to her, and she was really good because Christopher has certain things, like if we go to a restaurant, the waiter cannot ask him if he wants another drink, and they can't bring him another drink. It just sets him off. We don't know why. It's just one of his things. So David always nicely tells the waiter or waitress, hey, just wait till he asks you and don't bring him an extra, And every waiter or waitress we've had, all of them are just great about it. But the lady, and she was fine about it, but she's like, yeah, I kind of noticed some things about him. She said, my brother has dementia and lives with me. So we were talking about some of the similarities. I said, well, there's differences in that Christopher knows what's going on and has a clue about things, but just some of his behaviors can be, like my mom, when she had dementia, sometimes we'd say, oh, my mom and Christopher are acting more alike. But Christopher does not have dementia, and I'm not saying that. So I hope you hear me clearly. It's just some of the behaviors seemed similar. So, but she was a nice lady, and it's just I love people. I'm fascinated by people, and I love meeting new people and learning about them. I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing how they met. I'm always interested. It's just I find people fascinating. I really enjoy getting to know people. So anyway, but to be present, because I know there's been things coming out. There's not going to be Halloween and the usual Halloween, but sometimes it takes ingenuity to think about, okay, when things are different, what are we going to do? And Christopher's already got his costume. Well, he doesn't know it's here, but he's a Pixar character every year. Every year he picks a Pixar character from one of the Pixar movies. So his costume is already here. He's going to be the white Frozone. He loves Frozone. And Frozone, if you don't know, is an African-American superhero. And Christopher loves him. Loves him. So he's going to be a white Frozone because it's a white and blue costume because he freezes everything. And so he's like, I want to be Frozone. Okay, you can be Frozone, but you're going to be a white Frozone. So anyway, but we're just going to have to think outside the box. We're going to have to think about things. So we'll see if we can come up with some safe way to have a little outdoor celebration or something maybe for the kids at church. So I'll talk to Amy. We'll see what we can do, because I hate to think that, I understand it's a reality. And in fact, Jennifer, who we were with today, shared that her church reopened earlier, and they have a small space, and that 3 or 4 of the members got COVID right away, and one of them died. And it bothered her really, really badly, and they are only doing church online because she said it just wasn't worth the risk, and we had a conversation about that too. So anyway, I asked prayers for Jennifer. She's been through a lot this year. She's an amazing woman, having lost both her mom and dad and dealing with all the stuff after that. And so if you would just say a prayer for Jennifer, I'd appreciate it. Laura, let me know, Laura, what prayers you need. My cousin Laura, she's the one we prayed for in the spring when she'd broken her leg, and now her leg is healed and she's walking well and doing well. And so, Larry is going Friday to Emory, Larry Schultz. So he's meeting with some type of specialty oncologist down there. I don't know if you've seen it. It was some purple spots on his arm, and they've definitely been diagnosed as possibly leukemia or some type of skin or blood cancer. So he'll go and he'll learn more, and he'll let me know or let you all know, and we'll be praying for him. So please keep Larry Schultz in your prayers as he goes to find out what's going on with that. So we're keeping him in our prayers. I asked for prayers for Jamie, who I know, who's doing chemo or radiation. She's doing one of them for treatment. She's stage 4 breast cancer. She's been living with it for a number of years, has young children. I've talked about her before, is married, lives in Illinois, and if you will, please keep her in your prayers. I would be greatly, very grateful. Pray for all of you too, anyone who's in need of prayer tonight, and just ask God. God knows what you need, and ask God to watch over you and be with you. So I want to mention about Sunday. I'll share the next couple nights too about this. So Sunday is our first drive-in service. Sam and you have a job interview tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow Central Time at 2 o'clock. So please pray for my cousin Laura that the job interview goes very well and she gets offered a job, right? Which will be 3 o'clock our time. So Laura, I'm definitely praying for you, praying for the best for you, and asking everybody else to pray for you too. So praying for the best. So anyway, still working on being able to live stream the service. I can't make any guarantees. We're trying to do our best. I think if we find that it's not working, doing it outside, then we may put something together to show. But we will be having drive-in worship. We ask you to come if you can. Please, if you can, come between 9:30 and 9:50. We hope to start right at 10, unless we're having technical problems. It seemed like last week, people who stayed in their car and listened on their FM radio could hear it best, unless they were sitting close, because there's some problems with the speakers outside. There was feedback the week before when they were working on it. So, but people who sat in their cars, you could even roll down your window and listen, could hear the service really well over, you're welcome, over their FM station, and because recorded, and it was played on that, so you could hear it if you were listening in your car, or you could bring a chair and sit outside but leave your radio on, because that's the best way to hear it. So it will be my installation. It will be the celebration of September birthdays and anniversaries and birthdays. We'll lift everybody up. So service will be a little bit longer. So if you are not coming to service but would still like communion, we will have drive-through communion about 11:45 to 1. And hopefully we'll have treats left over. We'll have them individually baggied for you to share with you and to say happy birthday. For those who've had birthdays in September, it's kind of our way of trying to fellowship together in a safe way. So we hope that you can come and join us. If you feel safe about doing that, please wear a mask. Especially when we come to bring you communion, we ask for you to wear a mask to keep you safe and us safe. We'll be wearing masks. We'll come around after service is over and we'll bring communion, and we'll also have the offering plate and the noisy change bucket if there's anything you want to contribute to either one of those. So we'll make it easy on you. And that's what I can think of. There may be more for me to share tomorrow. We'll have bulletins, so you don't have to print it out, but the bulletin will be sent to you. If you're going to watch at home, you'll be able to pull it up. I think I'm going to work on that Wednesday nights now. Will be a Zoom Wednesday night devotion and check-in time. So Matthew, hi Matthew, I love you. I'm sorry about Sunday. Hi Matthew, love you, sweet boy. Hi Matthew, I'm so glad you're here. Bring your own coffee, Cheryl says. Yes, bring your own coffee. We'll have bottles of water. If you need a bottle of water, in fact, we forgot to bring that out, Cheryl, but we'll bring it out next week. And there'll be ushers there when you drive up. They'll hand you the bulletins and ask you about pulling down. I know Phyllis was parked near the end of the parking lot, and she said she could hear the service really well. So we can have a range of where vehicles will be, but we hope as many of you that feel safe will come and join us, but we also understand if you don't feel safe and would rather just come for drive-through communion. And like I said, we'll have drive-through communion about 11:45 till about 1. And that's so that we can have worship, take communion, and go around to everybody, and then have enough time for people to leave. So if you know you have to leave earlier when service is over, I suggest you park closer to coming out of the church. Because what we did last time that I think worked pretty well was we tried to do communion closer to going out. So then when the people there were done, they were welcome to go on if they wanted to go on. And then we went down. So, and that way we don't have to worry about if people are still out and talking, because some people were sitting down and they had their mask on, and but then we don't have to worry about that. Hey, good evening, Dawn. So, but we will be trying to work on being able to stream it. And again, if it's really a big struggle, we may just put something together and put that on for Sunday while we have worship together, because Sam's gonna be with us this week, but then my husband David's church is gonna start drive-in service on October 4th, and Sam needs to go there, and we don't know how to clone him. And so, and it may be that we will have it figured out this week, but we don't know. So, yes, and you can sing in your own cars without masks, Janet said. Yes, you can. That is the safe thing you can do. Did you do that on Sunday? That's good. That's good. So, hey, good evening, Sherry. Good evening. So, anyway, so that's it for about Sunday. I will be out at church tomorrow. Sam's coming with me. We're going to try to do some more planning, and I got to check everything for the service. And Pastor Patty Axel is coming from the Synod. She will be preaching, and she will be the one installing me for my 2-year term call, which began in June or July. So I'm already 3 months into it. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm hoping we don't have the wind or the cold. I'm hoping it's going to be warm and not too hot, like early 80s in there, you know, and no wind. The wind was just crazy last week, and it caused, I know people who were listening said they could hear the wind through their station and, you know, picked up the sounds of the cars. We can't help that. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. But being farther down, we're at the second door going into the fellowship hall. So I think that helps a little bit. But, you know, we're on a busy road. That's just part of what we have to deal with. So, hey, Connie, good evening. How are you? But so Sunday, so I will have devotions tomorrow night. We will have Friday Fun Night on Friday. and we'll have drive-in service for everybody on Sunday at 10 a.m. Come between 9:30 and 9:50 so we can get you can get your bulletin, and you can get situated and get like you want, so you can listen to the service and hear the service. And so I had people honk horns for the peace last week, and a number of people honked their horns, and that was pretty cool. So that's what we did for the peace, because we were not having people shake hands or do any of that. We're trying to be as safe as possible. So come if you feel safe, 10 o'clock, but come between 9:30 and 9:50 for Sunday worship this week. And we'll look forward to seeing as many of you as possible. If you have any prayer requests, if you know anybody who's been sick or dealing with anything, please let me know. Feel free to text me or call me. If you leave me a message, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'm glad I enjoyed immensely the time away. And just even having a few days away was really renewed my spirit, and I felt very present in those days, and it gives me some new good energy to go forward into the coming days and weeks and months as we walk into fall. So happy fall to you all. I'm going to, yes, the devotional books are in, Betty, and we've been handing them out, and we have plenty. We have plenty of big and plenty of small. So if you come on Sunday, whether you come to drive-through or you come drive-in or you come for drive-through communion, we will have the devotional books out. So we'll definitely have them for you there. So yeah, they came in 2 weeks ago, two maybe 3 weeks. They come in pretty early. So the problem was the last time they didn't get here, and so then they had to double ship. Oh, we got the large print, I think. And then they sent us the double shipment. So we still have a bunch left, so I'm going to have to make sure those get recycled. But yes, they're in. So they'll be there if you, we'll have them out, and you can pick them up on Sunday. And remember that last week and this week, our loose change is going to Lutheran disaster response for the work they're doing in America, for the places where the disasters have been, including Iowa. From over a month ago, Iowa is still dealing with a lot of recovery. I mean, there was some real damage done in a number of places in Iowa. Cedar Rapids was especially hit hard. We have friends there, and they were hit very, very hard. And also for the work in Louisiana and Texas, I think Florida too. So the funds we get this week, the change for the bucket, and last week will be going to Lutheran Disaster Relief. If you want to send something else to them, we can share that information. I'll see if we've got that for Lynn to put in the weekly email. And then in October, we're going to be collecting for the Thanksgiving meals. That's a work in progress. We don't know what that's going to end up looking like this year, but we're working on some different ways of doing it for this year only. And we'll be sharing what that's going to look like once we have a better idea of how that's all going to go. So, Don Taylor, if you're still on here, I'll be getting in touch with you to see if we can try to get a meeting pulled together in the next week or so to have some conversation with the other churches we've been talking to. So, and Heather, also, I've sent her notes so she knows what's going on. Oh, I should say congratulations to Patrick McVeigh, who went to police school and is now a sheriff's deputy. And I believe he's a sheriff's deputy in Spalding. So Heather had up some pictures from the ceremony of all the different cadets from the different groups. And so congratulations, Patrick. We're very happy for you. Excuse me. We know you're going to do an excellent job. And so blessings to you in this work. And we just pray for the best for you as you move into this new role in your life. So, well, that's it for tonight. I don't know about birthdays. I'm sorry. Like I said, except for the one thing I put up on Facebook. I'll put some more up probably tonight, but I just tried to take a break and not look at stuff and give myself some time to just kind of unwind from all that stuff. So, and it helps. I tell you, it helps. So I wish you all the best. I hope you have a good night and a great morning for those of you who watch it during the daytime. Hey, good evening, Gwen. How are you? And so before we go, I just would like to give you a blessing now. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Have a great night. Have a great tomorrow. And I'll be back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Good night and blessings. Bye, Matthew.